Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Jen Sorensen and I have kind of a bonus soap video for you this week because we went through all of our soaps for the month of March. It is still March. Anyone else losing count of what day, month, year we're in right now? Just me? Anyway, whenever I trim up my soaps, getting ready to package them, I have all these little shavings left over. And I've seen a few videos out there around Rebatch soap, and I thought I would give it a try. So I dust off, and by dust off I mean clean off, my old crock pot that I haven't used in years, and I hope it still works, to test out a Rebatch soap in this video. Let's jump in right now and see exactly what a Rebatch soap is and see if I can be successful at making one. What on earth do we have here? We've got a crock pot filled with soap shavings. And this, I have to be honest, this is so satisfying to play with. These are all, not all because I still have some left over. This is 2 pounds of soap shavings here. And these are the edges of what I kind of shaved off with a potato peeler, vegetable peeler, off the ends of my soap. So this has already been saponified. This is cured. I shave mine at the 4-week mark, not right away. So it's pretty cured. Brittle, you can see it just kind of like breaks as I clump through it. But we're gonna make some Rebatch soap today. And this is kind of a different process. I wanna give it a try. So I have a very old crock pot that I hope still works. We'll find out. But I haven't used this for years, for food especially, so I'm gonna try it and turn it into my Rebatch crock pot. Slow cooker, generic term. 2 pounds of these shavings in here. I have 3 ounces by weight of water, and I'm gonna add this to the slow cooker. And now I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of sodium lactate. I have a teaspoon right here. So there are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. This I am certain of. So we will get that in there and this should help with the process. So here's what I'm going to do as I screw the lid back on this. That's what you might hear. I'm gonna put the lid on. And now I'm gonna put this on low. So I've got off, keep warm, low, and high. I'm gonna put this on low, half an hour maybe, to see what this looks like. I've got my spatula here to give it a stir if needed. And then I'm gonna see what the color looks like as we go through. Maybe I'll add some titanium dioxide, and then we're gonna whip it. I've got a cheap little mixer here that I got off Amazon for like 15, 20 bucks or something like that. I'm gonna see what this looks like and we'll whip it up and then we're gonna put it in a mold. And this is gonna be a batch of soap that I'm gonna donate to a local homeless shelter. I will check it back in with you in about half an hour to see how this is going. All right, let's peek in here. And it's actually been about an hour because I checked it at half an hour and it definitely needed more time. So stirring this, and checking to see how we're doing here. We're getting some softening I can see on the bottom. I'm thinking I might need a little, ooh, this is looking good over here. That looks really weird. Maybe need a little more water, I'm thinking. I'm just glad this crock pot slow cooker still works. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this needs a little more water. And I'm thinking that's because all of these are pretty dry in terms of how long the, I'm not gonna measure, I'm just gonna do splash, splash. And I think, cause I feel it pretty dry. Some of these are probably 5-6 months old now at this point. So mix that up a little bit. It's gonna be pretty dark, I think, just given all the colorants. Yeah, this is getting a little better, but I still think we need a little more time. So we're just gonna keep going here and see what happens. All right, we're getting here slowly but surely. And what I think I'm gonna do is, this doesn't have too much of a scent to it anymore. So I'm gonna add a little bit of Nature's Garden Blueberry Muffin to this, because as you can tell, it's pretty dark, and I'm not really gonna measure too much because, you know, it's probably a bad idea, but whatever. This is an experiment, we're experimenting. The scent is absolutely incredible, like absolutely incredible, but it turns soap almost black. I made a stitch soap that was scented with it, and it went very dark. So I figured with this soap, with how it's very looking, kind of looks like something totally inedible and something you don't want to talk about at all. So I figured, why not add it to the soap here and make it go black so that it's, you know, less weird looking. Okay, let this cook up just a little bit longer. Probably, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and then we're gonna come back and whip this up and see how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off now. Yeah. And my whole house smells like blueberry muffins. It's amazing. Stir here. And, yeah. I love this scent. I wish it didn't turn things black. Okay, we're just going with that. Now, will this reach? There we go. I've got my mixer. I actually think I'm going to add in just a touch more fragrance because it's not that strong. There we go. Just a splash. And that might help me a little bit with the blending here. So I'm gonna put this on low and start to whip it up. I may put you in like time-lapse mode or something if this is really loud, we'll see. Okay, so in here, we're definitely making some progress. That whipped it up nice. Definitely a little firm. And we've got some color specks, which might actually look really cool when it hardens up and you see some of the colors and you've got the fragrance turns black. It could be really cool. And again, what I figured is this may not look the prettiest, so I figured this would be soap that I would donate to a local shelter near me because, I mean, they can always use stuff like this. So, all right, try and get that out. Just wanted to whip it up a little bit. And let's see how we're doing. We are really firming up here. So we're gonna get this into a mold. I just have a 2-pound mold here. And I'm gonna shove this in now. This is not gonna be the most attractive, unless you guys think, you know, this is something that you would be interested in buying, but I do donate on a regular basis soap to the shelter. In general, you know, leftovers, things that maybe haven't sold well, or just stuff that I didn't like how it turned out. You know, I think we all need to just kind of do our part every now and then. This is not pretty, but it smells good, and that's all that matters. Let's really try and get this in there. I might try and do a little more water next time because it definitely hardened up a little bit. So let me see what I can do to the top here I think I might just use my gloved hands to really kind of push this down. It's a little warm, but I have decent heat tolerance with my hands. Just gonna kind of pack this down here. Ooh, definitely had a gap down there in the end, so push this in. If you're doing this, I would highly recommend using a spatula or a spoon or something, but for now, I'm just gonna kind of do what I've got here. So push this down. And we will see how this looks when it cools and hardens a bit. I'll give it until tomorrow because it's getting a little late anyway here to see what it looks like when I cut into it. I'm feeling it's not gonna be that pretty, but we'll find out. Show you. See, not very pretty, but we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Well, this doesn't look very appealing, but it is hopefully a good use of all of those scraps. It's kind of lumpy, kind of just there. So I'll clean that out. Not the cleanest removal of any soap that I've done, but you know what? It's again, resources, you know, just kind of doing some good stuff. And if you hear crunching in the background, that would be Misty deciding it was a good time for a snack. All right, so this is firm. This is nice and firm. I thought I would use a single cutter. Okay, that looks kind of cool. And as this darkens, because that fragrance is really gonna darken it, I think it's gonna be really cool with the confetti. Yeah, I'm gonna be really curious to see how the fragrance impacts this with all those little bits of, yeah, that's kind of cool, the confetti piece. So, I mean, I don't know, I figure this is gonna be something that I'll donate if it works well. And I think the soap does a good job just because, you know, homeless shelters near me everywhere could always use things like this. So why not kind of pull together some stuff that I have, because it's fragrance, I love it, but it just doesn't behave well. And I'm just gonna kind of use that or other stuff as I get more of these bits, because I have the dirt soap over here. You can see how I kind of miter the edges. That's what I use, those little bits that I take off, because it makes it easier to move in your hand. So I use that for these scraps. It's like when you rub it in your hand, kind of going like that, having smooth edges just makes it move a lot easier. So, I don't know. Well, let's check in a little bit to see what we think about this method and if we'll keep doing this. Okay, this turned out somewhat decent. You know, you got the speckling in there and it's not totally pretty, shall we say. Smells nice. And I think this is gonna get darker still, because here is the blue koala that I did, and with the same fragrance, and it really darkened quite a bit over time. So I think this will darken a little bit, making those like colorful flecks in there even more vibrant. So we'll see. I'll probably just kind of keep these around, maybe bring them when I travel with me, or donate them to a local homeless shelter that we have here. But let me know what you guys think, or is this something that, like, are you really into sustainable, reusable items, that this is something you would really like? I wasn't planning on putting this in the shop, but you tell me what you'd like. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this strange journey today as I try this out. I hope you enjoyed it, and stick around because we've got Disney Sidekicks coming up, and I can't wait to share with you some of these fun designs that we're coming up with. So I will see you real soon. Until then, I hope this inspired you to create something beautiful. Have a fantastic day.